Hey all, this is Tom. Just thought I'd do you all a quick little update video, considering we've got a pretty packed few weeks coming up, basically all throughout October and whatnot. So first things first, there will be 3 new Spot of PC episodes landing next week at the time of this upload. On Monday, we've got Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. On Wednesday, we have Lethal League, a pretty fun little game from Steam, I believe. You know, the distribution service. Not actually, are there any companies named Steam? I'm getting off track here. And the third game is something called Bloons TD5, which is a kind of... It was like an in-browser tower defense game, and then it was fleshed out. So look forward to that. Volk especially was excited to show that off, so I think you'll like it. And oh yes, let's talk playthroughs now, or at least let's hint at playthroughs, because I want to keep at least a couple of them a surprise. We've got 3 of them coming your way in October. They're all vaguely Halloween themed. The first one I can reveal, which will be happening I think roughly towards the end of October, is Trilby's Notes, the 3rd game in the Trilby series of point-and-click adventure games. Helldragon will be back for that, so yeah, I can't wait to see him get spooked, because I would say Trilby's Notes has the most psychological fuckery going on out of all the Trilby games, so let's see if it can beat the skeleton jumping out of the bathtub. The other 2... I really want to keep these secret, but I guess I'll give you some clues. For the first game, X Gamer Richie will be a co-commentator. There will be a second co-commentator, but I'm not revealing who that is until the game drops. And the other game is recorded by someone outside of HFC, and they are the co-commentator. And, a second clue? It's related to something that was in the Sony phone, and that's all I'm saying for now. And the big point of this update video, as you've probably been able to tell from the title and whatnot, is that Hellfire Comms is opening a Patreon account on October the 1st. Now, before I even say why, I just want to preface this by saying everything is fine in my life right now. There is no financial hardship. I am not in danger of losing my house like I was a few years ago and needing to raise donations on the HFC livestream. This is because we want to see HFC grow bigger, and just due to ad rates falling and that quote-unquote dreaded apocalypse happening, we simply cannot afford the games, equipment, etc. we need to bring, like, the latest and greatest games to you. You'll notice we cover a lot of old games on HFC, and that's a reason for that. It's mostly because these are the games, well, I in particular own, but that most of us, you know, seem to have. And I would love to cover new stuff like Samus Returns for the 3DS, maybe get a bit of Super Mario Odyssey, get a Switch and whatnot so we can cover games on that for you all in 2018. But sadly, when the YouTube revenue comes in, I can't give you any figures because of contracts and the sort, and I kind of like being a YouTube partner. I don't want to abuse that privilege, but it comes in, I pay my rent, pay my bills, gone. And there is very rarely, especially in recent months, an opportunity for me to put stuff back into the channel. So a lot of the playthroughs this year, footage-wise, have been recorded by other members of HFC. And honestly, it's a teeny bit upsetting. That might be going a bit far. You know, I'm not crying about it or anything. But it saddens me to see that we kind of have to put the brakes on, so to speak, in terms of new-ish games to cover. So I figured instead of going back to me old e-begging ways on you know, the HFC livestream, and I'm perfectly okay with being called on e-beggar, you know, it is what it is, to borrow the famous catchphrase of another more infamous e-beggar. But I wanted to try something that you guys can at least get something out of this time. So a week today I'll be dropping a video that will explain all the tiers and rewards and what goals we're working towards on Patreon, so hopefully you get a better idea of what we're angling at with this Patreon. I'm choosing my words very carefully here because I don't want it to come across like we're doing this like haphazardly or slapdash. I have put a lot of thought into this. I've especially been monitoring Patreon accounts of certain big users across the internet who didn't do it very well. One of whom I've already subtweeted, so to speak, in this video. Another one you can probably guess. His name rhymes with Mooney, and I'll leave it at that. And I'm actually quite excited to launch the Patreon. I don't know how well it's going to do, but it's something new, and I would rather do this than seek out, let's say, other means of supplementary income right now. And I ain't talking about no IRL job, I'm talking about, well, benefits and such. I'd rather not go down that route if I can help it. I want to do something that actually requires a bit of work, something to give back to you all. And I am starting to ramble now, so I'm going to wrap things up. So, to summarise, next week, 3 episodes of Spot of PC, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, you have Lethal League, you got Bloons TD5. Following that in October, we have 3 Halloween-themed playthroughs, well, vaguely themed, one of which is Trilby's Notes with Hell Dragon, and we are opening a Patreon account which launches officially on October 1st, and there will be a video on that day explaining how the reward tiers and whatnot work. Thanks all for listening, and I hope you enjoy the Spot of PC episodes, the upcoming playthroughs, and I hope the Patreon does well, because I really want to do more for you guys, and it's a very exciting time right now. See you next time. Bye-bye.